know, a lot of guys always worry about size. I'm sure you've been with a lot of different men, different size, big, huge, small. Does size really matter?
So, hey guys, it's your boy Hink here, and we got another one for you today. And so I'm coming at you with the video from none other than the Brandy Love. Now, so guys, I very rarely engage in any kind of corn these days. However, there are a few kind of superstars that always stick out in my mind, and honestly, she's one of them. Your boy does have a tiny bit of a MILF fetish. I'm sorry, so sue me, but so I came across this. Callie pointed it out to me, and we're going to dissect it today. There's a lot of stuff that we can learn about it. And once again, we have another corn star that's going to be talking about size. So the girl that used the biggest of the big is going to talk about her opinion on does size matter.
I don't have like, everyone asks, does size matter? Well, yeah, if you don't know what you're doing with it.
Right.
If it's too big or too small, if you don't know what you're doing with it, yeah, it matters. If you know what you're doing with it, it's the least concern.
Really?
Yeah.
So there you have it, guys. Let's close the video right here.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health.
This a professional actress who is paid to basically engage with larger size D's, says the size does not matter. What does matter if it's too big or too small. Now, spoiler alert, she does contradict herself a little bit here in this video, but basically you have somebody in the industry. This is our third video in a row, and Callie, pop the other ones up on the screen, where they're females performers and they all say that size does not matter. I mean, like, what more do you want?
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a perfect size?
I would say anywhere between 6 and 8 is amazing. That's bigger than average. That's big, but I'm married to somebody that size, so for me that was always my usual. Like, he's a big man.
Guys, I mean, once again, this is a very good answer, like a very reasonable answer. That number is actually consistent with the literature. So I have a video on like the ideal size, and then like another video on like the size women want based on science. It's right around that 6-inch mark. Now you have to keep in mind, it's unclear whether she's talking about bone pressed or non-bone pressed. But in some of those videos where they do the science, it's talking about non-bone pressed length, meaning the visible length of your penis, not when you push a ruler into your fat pad, how far can it go? These are very large sizes that, considering the average size is about 5.2 to 5.5 inches bone pressed. However, once again, she's not like, my ideal size is 12 inches, like some of you derps on here think is actually what women want. Hink, I was in the locker room and I saw a guy, and my friend said that he was with the girl and she...
Don't do the voice.
Yeah, I did the voice, but that's not reality, guys. That is a very, very wide range, though. Like, if you're talking like 6 inches, let's just say bone pressed values for all intents and purposes. But if you're talking like 6 inches to 8 inches non-bone pressed, that's a difference of like 14 standard deviations. I mean, once you get out to like the 8 inches non-bone pressed, like you're starting to get into that like 1 in 10, like 1 in 100 million type of range of size. That is just a wide range. And, that's what she says. I also wonder if she knows actually what like 6 inches is or what 8 inches is, or if she's just going off what guys tell her. And also, guys, she has a husband. Yikes. Like, yikes. I mean, whatever. I'm not judging anybody, but like, yeah, it could never be me though. Okay.
5.5 is considered average according to statistics. I haven't done the research visually. I don't, but 5.5, that's more than satisfying.
Here you have a corn star that has been on Blacked and all of these other shows with the biggest of the big saying that 5.5 is big. That, Callie, play the clip again.
But 5.5, that's a big, like, that's more than satisfying.
But guys, so 5.5 inches is big. So all of you guys that are like, oh my God, my D is 5.5 inches, it's small. No, it's within that like standard deviation average range, but it's more than enough for at least this corn star who has been with the biggest of the big like Dread. And I have to give her props for actually knowing real statistics. She says like what, like somewhere like 5.5 is actually average, which is interesting how she says like 5.5 is average and then she says 5.5 is big. But she's basically saying that's more than enough to satisfy any woman. Once again, guys, she is probably talking about non-bone press. So, be as lean as possible. Not fat shaming. I'm just saying, if you're 5.5 inches when you press the ruler into your fat pad, but because you're obese, you only have 3 inches showing, no girl is going to be like, oh yeah, that's plenty. I won't say no girl, but most girls aren't going to be like, that's plenty for me. Most girls are going to be like, wow, this guy had a 3-inch D.
What size? They say size doesn't matter, but if it's 2 inches here.
Well, it's like a snack. No, yeah. I honestly, it was one of our first swinging experiences, and great couple. They were really fun. We were all very new, especially us.
You let him, did you?
No, God, no. Like,
she's a good person.
I am. I would never. That's not their fault. It's not like they said, hey, God, when you deliver me to Earth, could you give me a little chode?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody.
So guys, I have to give her props for, there's a lot of shitbag people in the world, and some of them I see in my comment section that are just like mean and disrespectful, but you know, hey, you need thicker skin. I do. You're right. But the point is, she could have very well been like, oh no, like if you have a small pee-pee, you need to like unalive yourself. But no, she's like, dude, these guys can't help it. Like I would never laugh at somebody. So it is nice to, I guess I'm surprised she has common decency, but that's the day and age we live in. But also like swing, like once again, I'm old fashioned, guys. Yeah, I'm just very protective over my girl. It just blows my mind that people would swing and like share somebody that they're intimate with and have a connection with in a relationship. But you know, if that's you, do you, but it could just never be me.
That's what you call them, chodes.
Well, actually, his wasn't even a chode because it wasn't thick. It was just little.
Yeah, chode. See, it's
chode's fat.
Yeah, chode's a fat chode.
It would be like the cap of this.
Yeah.
That's a chode.
Jeez, net short.
Yeah.
So guys, I wanted to talk about this just because I think the term chode is just like one of the funniest words in the English language. And, you know, here they're describing it like there are guys that are basically like this big, but have like a really big girth. Also, if you couldn't tell by now, my favorite show is I Think You Should Leave. And there's this segment here where they talk about chode jeans.
And Julie gave me chode jeans and I myself.
What are chode jeans?
Chode jeans. They're jeans for a chode. Size 54 waist, 10-inch legs, f***ing junk. Julie gave them to me.
It was just a joke.
I almost myself, Julie.
Russell.
We were getting it on. Everybody's having fun. They're very sexy, both of them. She gets on my husband, and I hear her gasp. And I'm like, yeah, it's my man. He's getting it. And she's in like a circus act over there. She's going crazy.
You can say that size doesn't matter. Apparently, her husband is somewhere between 6 to 8 inches. And so such a wide range there. But if she was used to a guy that literally had like a 2-inch D, as she described, and then goes to a guy that's, let's even just say 6 inches, that's going to be a very different experience. Now, guys, if you have not seen my I have bad news for you video, you need to check it out. But there are certain correlations that matter when it comes to delivering pleasure based on size. For example, there is like this paper that show that like women who get deep vaginal O's are the ones who are going to prefer a bigger pee-pee or a longer pee-pee. There is some merit to it. It doesn't mean that you can't pleasure a woman with a longer pee-pee, but there are some benefits to being on the bigger side, I would say. Can't imagine being that guy with the small pee-pee, like watching my chick get absolutely like pleasured and destroyed by another man. Like I would never, ever recover from that. It's a wrap for your boy Hink if that ever happens.
And I get to where I pull the pants down and I went, oh, that's why. Because my husband is big and she's married to him. She loves him. It was obvious their connection, but she was getting it because she doesn't get it. I'm just saying. Yeah. And I remember my husband looked at me and I looked at him and I went, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm. It was that small.
2 inches is 2 inches.
Yeah.
And it's not like a pinky, but this works. Not this.
Right.
This.
So guys, like once again, if you are too small, then, that can be a problem. But really, like even if you're on the smaller side of average, that should not be an issue for most women. Now, this guy sounds like if he was obese, and in the clip, she actually talks about how like they're a very good looking couple. So I actually doubt he's overweight. And I doubt they had like a huge fat pad hiding another 2 inches of his D. Sounds like he literally has a micropenis, which is basically an erect penis less than about 3 inches, okay? Or right around there. Actually, I'm sure there's going to be that guy in the comment. Keep me on track, guys. Keep me fact checked. But the point is, that guy probably has gains in the tank. Now, guys, like if you're new to this channel, like I talk about penis enlargement, okay? I have so many videos and it comes like a pumping playlist, extender playlist, and I even have a course where I basically go through the medical science of how I put on 1.5 inches in size, in length, and over 1 inch in girth over the span of about 3 years. So it is possible to enlarge your penis if you're just an average guy, okay? There's countless data about that. But specifically in this guy, if he actually has a micropenis, things like combining things like growth hormone and even like DHT cream could substantially increase the size of his penis. Like it could literally double that. If you haven't seen my video about like how to biohack your penis, like I talk about some of those issues. But unfortunately, if you're an average guy like that, that's not going to be applicable for most guys that have gone through a normal puberty as far as like the biohacking part. But things like pumps, extenders, they work, guys. They can enlarge it. Like check out my other videos.
Men in big. It's not just because it's big. It's visually. If they want an angle, right, where you're opening to the camera, if your dick's not this big, you're not going to get in. Right. There's a reason men in so big. It is necessary for the visual to create the content we create.
We've talked about this before. There's a video I made based on Dread, and he basically says that like my job is to provide like the best stage for the performers to perform their best work on. And so there is a reason why guys in the porn industry are larger than average, and in some cases very big. I mean, and she's saying that is very sexy. Like, I don't see how you could like really argue that. I mean, to me, like big old bitties like are very sexy, and it doesn't mean that like I don't appreciate honestly a nice like A cup, or especially if the chick is fit. But the point is that it's sexy to see some big old bitties like flopping in the air. But the other thing she talks about is that like it's necessary for some of the shots, like truly some of the shots where they're taking it from the side, and like if you don't have the angle, you're not going to be able to really like see anything, and the corn is a very visual thing. With that being said, guys, we have to take a break for Hink's reality check. Callie, hit him with the graphics. So guys, she says if you're going to be in corn, you have to be like this big, and she holds her hands apart and it's wider than her shoulders. I understand, guys, she's exaggerating. She's doing it to make a point, but let's just take this literally for just a second. Just humor me here. So here we have an article showing that the average shoulder width on a woman is about 14 to 15 inches. Okay, so just this distance from here to here is 14 to 15 inches. She's 5'7". Yes, I looked it up for this video. And so she's, right around, average, maybe upper average. And so let's just say it's 14 inches. Okay. Then she has them like an additional like 2 inches beyond that. Callie, hit him with the screenshot so it shows like what she's talking about. So like she literally holds up like 18 inches. I don't even need to like throw the stats and stuff. Like it's statistically impossible. Like it's impossible to be that big naturally, number one, but even unnaturally, like nobody is going to be 18 inches long. Even allegedly Matt Barr, which I don't believe is only 14 inches. She's saying like, guys, 5.5 inches is big. Size doesn't matter. Like hitting guys with all of these facts. And then she's like, the guys in the corn industry are this big. It would have just been such a better video, like almost a perfect video if she'd just been like, yeah, when the guys in the industry are like this big, and held up like 6 inches or 7 inches or 8 inches, at most 9 inches or something like that. It just would have been way more realistic rather than like being like, oh man, some guys in the industry are this big.
I literally was a little like at a loss. Of course, I'm like, does this feel good? I was trying stuff. I was trying.
Yeah.
But then we're not gonna have sex.
Right.
Because I feel even worse going, is it in? I just, that's not gonna, so yeah. We didn't end up having a fully good time. It was good. It was fun, but we obviously didn't call back.
Right.
If you are too small, like you're just too small. Okay. Once again, there's plenty of ways you can get bigger. Even with this small guy, she said, we still had a good time. I just didn't call them back. Literally what this corn star is saying, that too big, too small for her is literally a micropenis. That's the bottom line, is a micropenis. That should be very reassuring to most of you guys.
Mm-hmm. So what was his wife? What was she like after that experience?
Can we do it again?
Yeah.
She was, they were very attractive. They were very kind. Like in life, we probably would have been good friends had we not crossed that bridge. Mm-hmm. But
if my wife was ever like, oh man, like when can we have that couple again so another dude can bone me? Like whatever. I don't judge, whatever makes you happy, guys. I'm just saying, could never be me. But just once again, keep in mind, this guy was on the I would argue he's closer to 6. And so he's about 6 inches. I mean, speculation, Hink, whatever. I get it. But I'm just saying, once she's not like, oh yeah, my husband's packing 12 inches, okay? She's like, my husband's well endowed, somewhere between 6 to 8.
You ever been in a scene in your profession where the guy was just too big and you said, no, this is not going to work?
One scene in particular, love the guy. He's amazing. Just a light. He's humongous and humongous, but his personality is so just endearing that if it weren't for him being so incredible, I probably would have called it, because it was like having a baby. I'm like, I need a midwife. Somebody needs to get in there and work on stuff, because I was like, I remember looking at the director. I'm like, I don't know.
Once again, here, she talks about how you can be too small in this clip, but she's also clearly here saying that you can be too big. And so you guys are watching these corn shows and seeing these like massive hogs. You're watching Blacked and Blacked Raw and all these things with these massive guys. These are actresses, guys. These are actresses that are like sitting there, oh, look at me. Oh, it feels so good. That's my O voice, guys. So just keep that in mind. It kind of sounds like Mickey Mouse. But guys, even like things when they squirt, like if you see a big shower of fluid, that's urine. They're pissing. Okay, guys? It's not like that's actual like ejaculatory fluid. But I talked about that on my last video. But guys, she's talking about Dredd. Dredd has been like very known in the industry for just being like such a nice guy. Even in that like Nathan Bronson video, he talks about how like Dredd was such a sweetheart. And so like she's clearly talking about Dredd. Now, guys, let's talk about Dredd's size. So this is like another like mini Hink's reality check, because I already made another video on Dredd before. Here's a redacted picture here. Obviously, I can't include it in this video, but it shows him being measured. Now, his measurements, according to basically the best breakdowns that we can find online and actual pictures with images, He's about somewhere between 8.25 to 8.5 non-bone pressed, okay? So probably about 9 inches bone pressed, somewhere around in there, okay? Or maybe just before that. But he's about 6.25 inches, okay? So I'm probably blowing some of your minds right now that I'm like, one of the, literally notoriously, one of the biggest freaking dudes in the corn industry is about like 8.25 non-bone pressed by 6.25, which is just ridiculously big, guys. But it is important to have a realistic understanding. And so that is the size that she's talking about being essentially prohibitively big, and she's a corn actress. So just keep that in mind.
Pray for his wife.
He doesn't have one.
Yeah, I know why.
No, I mean, we laugh about it, but it's probably very serious. I remember asking him, I'm like, it's hard to date, isn't it? He's like, yep. Because even if somebody's in love with him, they're like, I don't want to do that every day.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It was a lot.
I try to get stabbed to death.
It's a lot. I'm sure there's a woman out there who would love it, but it's a lot.
Some of you guys are hopeless, and there's nothing I can do. And I'm sure there's going to be that guy in the comments like, I don't care what you say, Hink. I know a girl that dated a guy that was 12 inches by 14 inches, and she loved it. And like, that's my goal. These women don't want these massive hogs. And I'm not going to go too much into my personal life here, but there are times when my girl, and I'm not too far off from Madrid, to be quite honest. But like, even my girl is like, I'm tapping out, like I'm calling it. It's just too much. Okay. Just be careful, guys. Just have a realistic understanding of what women want. And Brandy Love is referring to something that's called like the boyfriend D, or like the ideal D, like the D that you want to go home to every night, or you could even do kind of like every night. If you haven't seen my video on the ideal size, you really should check it out. But there's a reason why women want that boyfriend D, okay? Even the study looking at different size statistics show that women prefer a slightly larger D for a one-night stand compared to like a long-term relationship. So guys, what are my conclusions? Well, number one, I'm definitely gooning to Brandy Love tonight. I'm just kidding, guys. I don't watch corn. I don't think it's good for you. I don't do it anymore. But here you have a professional corn star saying 5.5 inches is big.
But 5.5, that's a big, like that's more than satisfying.
Once again, a professional corn star saying a micro PP is what is too small for her. Okay, anything shy of that is fine. And then I don't know, maybe my last conclusion is if you have a micro penis, maybe don't go swinging. Whatever, do you live your life. But guys, let me know what you think about this. Am I wrong? Am I just hoping about size because like I want these guys to have smaller D? Or like some of you, I'm not gonna call names, but people in the comments, oh, she's lying, bro. She's lying. This is the third video with a female corn star saying that size doesn't matter and they don't want big Ds. And there's still some of you, whatever, in the comments, oh, I think she's lying. But anyways, guys, all the comments help the engagement and help the algorithm. And so hopefully you guys are wising up. But let me know what you think of the video. Guys, all the ways to support me if you need me for coaching or consultation, all the links are in the description and probably my link tree is in the first comment. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace and love.
Dr. Hink got the plug on the health, yeah. Got you thinking about your wealth, yeah. In his office, no stealth, yeah. Pinnacle of that below the belt, yeah. Checks and balance, he's managing. Working miracles, no damage. Got you covered, no panicking. Stay calm. In the clinic, no vanishing. Yeah, with Doc Hink, it's the way back.